Vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Well, okay, I started in residential real estate 5 years ago. And I pretty much earlier on knew that I wanted to involve that in my business. I mean, I was always conscientious about the environment, was always a natural passion and interest of mine. Grew up in Germany. I am German. So it was kind of always in the conversation how I grew up. You know, my mom already told me, don't take long showers. It was like that, that normal. And I felt like whatever business I do, there has to be a deeper level of what you can contribute to people's lives. Is it really just about making sales and, doing a business? Yeah, absolutely that too. But there has to be another motivation that is more of a passion, like a deeper why. Why am I doing this?
Yes.
Because I really believe I can make people's lives better and people's homes and the way they live better. So that's when I decided I definitely have to specialize and focus on that topic and learn all about it and network with the industry and get to know all the different experts and contractors and energy auditors and everybody. And so it's been a really great, extraordinary journey, actually, getting to know all these other people that are just as involved.
It sounds great because actually that's how we met at a networking,
That's
at
right.
a green networking.
Yeah. You have the homeowner. Let's say they are interested in not selling the home or anything. They're just a homeowner and they're just wondering, how can I make my house more energy efficient? How can I make it healthier in the materials I have in there? How can I add more value? And how can I save money on my utility bills?
Yes.
Really simple, straightforward. We're not even talking about sales here. We're just talking about a homeowner.
Right.
So I think a good way to start is, and that is obviously thanks to a great friend of mine, Tammy Schwalski. She educated me a lot about this. You really have to look at the house as a whole house, as a system that functions together. So before you start putting glamorous solar panels on your roof, you might really want to think about, because here in LA, we have a lot of mid-century homes and homes that have little or no insulation. You really want to look at the performance first and do an energy audit.
Yeah.
So you get an energy assessment on the house, or you get a contractor out there that can perform an energy assessment and really look at every single individual house, because every house is different, and measure how much energy does it lose. So the average house loses about 30 to 40% of its energy. So basically the bill you have at the end of the month, if you think about your AC costs, the heating costs, it goes all out of the window, out of the cracks, because there's no insulation and it's the envelope isn't tight. That's what the professionals like to say. So before you even
I'm gonna post that. So go ahead.
Yeah. So before you even add any glamorous green features to it, think about reducing the cost and the waste first before you add anything. And then already you might have extraordinary savings. If you insulate the attic right, the walls, put new windows in, you already have saved so much money and you haven't even done anything else to it. And then obviously, there's so much you can do. Okay, let's continue with solar panels. Then you might not need as many solar panels because now the house doesn't consume so much energy. And I think they do add value over the lifetime, and when you go to resell the house.
Yeah, and solar...
More on the radio, more commercials about it, but Energy Upgrade California has some really cool incentives and tax rebates to do these energy efficient upgrades and to do an energy assessment. So Energy Upgrade California has been pounding the message on Pandora and,
I was going to say...
Of course, some upgrades require you to spend money, and some people would maybe spend the money rather on adding a pool or remodeling their kitchen. But, I think maybe a growing number of people might be interested in also doing these energy efficient upgrades because it will save you money. You start documenting how much you save. And they actually brought out the largest study recently on California homes. They assessed 1.6 million homes in California.
There's a lot of houses here.
That's just 1.6 million homes. And out of those, 4,300 homes had a green label. So LEED certified or Green Point rated. We can explain what that is.
Hold on a second. 4,000 out of 1.6 million?
4,300 homes had a green label.
Okay, out of 1.6 million.
But on average, these green label homes sold, on average, 9% more than a non-green label home. So that, if you look at the average house price of like $430,000, that's like $34,000 more that you could get for a home if it had a green label. So that's actually a substantial property value added.
That really,
the average person might not want to unplug all their things every night, and they just don't want to go to those lengths. So and for me, because I want to reach I don't want to reach
mass population.
I want to reach the person who isn't necessarily like a complete green freak and does everything under the sun that they can do. It's
Which
not
is not me.
about reducing your life or like reducing your expression. If people want to, crank up the music and do all that, then I want to find a way so that they can still live
Offset
their
it,
life
yes.
instead of having to compromise on their life. So
That's perfect. That's beautiful. Yeah.
So where did this come from? Where did this material come from? Where does it go? It's not just about what I'm using, but where is it going? How can I recycle it? Can I maybe use some of the old materials? Can I reuse them? I mean, there's some amazing cutting edge reuse materials out there. I saw at the Dwell on Design. It's so cool. Like you would never think what that was before, but people have found a way to make it look really ultra modern, ultra sexy. You would never think it was, like old scrap metal or
I love
engineering. And that's the other thing. I'm from Germany. When I went home the last time around, I was on the train going from one city to the other. And the amount of homes I passed by that have solar panels on their roof. And in Germany...
Well, Germany is so green.
Yeah, but half the time it's not even sunny. And here we are in Southern California where the sun is shining all day long. And, what are we doing? Efficient. You want your laptop to be efficient. You want your TV to be efficient. You want your cell phone to be super efficient. You want everything to work at maximum efficiency, at fastest speed and fastest power, and save you the most money and be efficient. Why wouldn't you want your very home to be as efficient as it can be?
Right.
It just
the whole, it's your
it's
whole
a
lot.
whole system. It's like how it works all together. People ask me about gray water systems. That's definitely interesting and would, reuse a lot of water. But then you have to be consequent enough and consistent enough to all the laundry detergents and soaps you use then must also be absolutely, truly biodegradable, because obviously you don't want to, run your dishwasher with like all these sulfates and all these salts in it and then put it on your lawn. Then you have to really go all the way and use the right kind of detergents. But that could be a really good idea. As a realtor and eco broker, I don't have to be the absolute expert on all of these things. I just have to know the right individuals. Because
exactly.
it's a liability anyway. If I try to explain to somebody how they should really do it, I could really not say anything, but just refer to the right individual. But through all the networking, I've met some extraordinary people that know so much. It's amazing. Shout-outs. Well,
you want to.
I got to give it to my two girls, Tammy Schwolski and Jennifer Berthelot. They're really not have they taught me a tremendous amount of knowledge, but they've also become really great girlfriends of mine. So now it's just, now it's a no-brainer. It's over. Watch out. To the table and we're talking about green jobs, it's not so much training in a whole new field. It's, okay, look at the job you already have and what can you bring to the table to make your field greener, or where can you have an impact instead of trying to rethink your whole career. You are, by accident of fate, alive at an absolutely critical moment of time on this planet. I love that.
Yeah.
By accident of fate, alive. It's true. We just happen to be alive right now when the shit could really hit the fan, and we really got to change our thinking long term. Like our actions have consequences, and we can no longer in the early adopter phase about these things, and it's just a matter of time before people think, what, actually it does save me more money. What, actually I do want to do this, and plus California's standards and building codes are going to become more and more stringent, and what is green now in 5 years might be just a normal building code requirement, and it isn't even green anymore. It's just standard building at that point.
That's kind of
over and over and over again. It's like that. It's like just continuously staying in the conversation. And, so when I go around with new home buyers, they're all eager to find the house and, thinking about what kind of financing they can do. There's great loan programs. FHA loans are being widely used, and this is nothing to do with green, but there is something called the energy efficient mortgage. It's basically an FHA branch program where you can get extra funds as long as you use them towards energy efficient upgrades.
I did not
know
that.
So so cool. So of course, I got a green lender on hand,
right.
So
what is this called?
It's called EEM, Energy Efficient Mortgage. And it's under the FHA loan branch. So basically, I think why am I talking about this all the time? Very little people seem to care, but then that's not true because I always try to find, when the new listings come out and if they're LEED certified, or there's an architectural property where a contractor or a builder really went for it and got their building LEED certified, and it's all architectural and amazing and gorgeous, in the Hollywood Hills. I love that. I'm really inspired by that. And not everybody can afford $1 million home, but there are people out there that are totally gung ho for it, and they show you that it doesn't. It can be very artistic, and it can be very slick and modern and stylish. For example, I actually really dig some new modular homes, prefab homes.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they're very green. Less
First
waste.
of all, they're very green. The construction is a lot more reliable because it's not being constructed on site. It's constructed in the factory,
and
so
there's
it's a
no
lot
waste.
tighter.
Yeah,
and then they just get flown in, put down, and they look amazing. You wouldn't even be able to tell that it's a prefab home. It looks great. It looks really modern.
I've seen a lot of those.
Light,
see, and
well, it's just confusing. All the green labels are confusing, and there is the objection, and sometimes it's correct, that it costs too much money, or it costs more money, and so then they're not willing to spend the money, and that's the thing. I mean, at some point maybe it won't cost more money, or if you do the cost analysis, you will save more money in the long run. But that's also, again, well, that's just my opinion, but as a European looking at the American way of life and where Americans have come from, there really has to be a deeper shift of thinking, and not just think so much, just everyday life consumption from one day to the
instant
next.
gratification
it's like
kind of thing.
Instant gratification. What can I have and what can I build that lasts? And, for a long time, American consumers were conditioned to get things and consume things that were not meant to last because, the quicker you can discard it, the quicker you can buy more and buy new. And now it's like really change your way of thinking and like, what appliances do I get? Yeah, I might have to spend a little bit more money up front, but they last longer and they're really good quality. And it's like, it's a shift of thinking more to quality and longevity rather than trashy and, fast.
Right.
It's all good, really. It's a transition. It's going to keep changing. What's green today might not be green tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we should constantly up our game. We should constantly raise the bar, But at least it's a start. And so, it's not altogether bad that other agents advertise, certain green features. And unfortunately, we don't have a checkbox yet in our multiple listing service, in our MLS, this is a green label home. I wish we did, but it's all a little bit confusing, right? Just like you can check with pool, without pool, with view, without view. I would like to check,
So
green
how can
home,
you
not
do that?
green home. Well, the
how
problem,
does that get created?
Yeah, the problem is that we have different rating systems.
Oh, yeah.
And, if it is a green label home, then you can put it in the write-up, but there's not an actual checkbox yet.
Who do we need to talk to for that checkbox?
I know, right?
No, for real. Who do we need to talk to?
I've talked to the multiple listing service. I'm like, well, this is missing, and you should. And, I realize the challenges. So it's just, again, it's pushing it forward, keeping the conversation alive and mentioning it.
So you heard it here. Anika is going to get
if
that
you're buying
checkbox.
your next home, make sure you request it.
Absolutely.
No, make sure you come and see me.
Yes. So other than, we have a few more.
I mean, the Association of Realtors will probably hate me for saying this because the whole process, the whole escrow process, all the inspections can be difficult enough to get it closed successfully. And so if I bring in the idea, every home should really have an energy assessment at the time of sale. I would like to do an energy assessment on the whole house I buy. Just like a general home inspection, you want to know what you're buying. Well, I want to know not just what I'm buying generally, what's generally wrong with it. I'd like to know exactly how well does this house perform.
Yeah. To buy a home,
sell a home.
Or just
want to get information.
You want to get information
Education.
about, like making your house healthier, making your house more energy efficient, saving yourself some money, whichever of those three or even more motivate you the most. It doesn't matter. It's all kind of in the same circle. And I have the exact person that you need to talk to. And that is Anika. Now, how can we find you? Like wrapping up, how can how can our listeners find you? And
Okay,
all
so
that?
let's spell out my name because people are always like, huh, what's your name? Okay, so my name is Anika, Anika, and my last name is Berhang,
Oh, I did say it wrong.
Berhang. Well, I mean, okay, so in Germany we say Berhang, but you know,
that's even more.
exactly. So
I'm German
Berhang,
too, and I can't even do it.
and you